The first time my wife introduced me as her friend, I assumed I'd misheard her. We'd been married for 11 years. 2 kids. A mortgage. A dog that somehow liked her more than me. There wasn't much confusion about who we were. Or so I thought. It happened at a charity fundraiser hosted by the hospital where Emily worked. She'd invited me weeks earlier. "It's nothing fancy," she'd said. "Just dinner, speeches, and a silent auction." I hated those events. She knew it. But she also knew I'd go anyway. Mostly because she rarely asked for anything. When we arrived, she disappeared almost immediately. Coworkers, doctors, nurses. Everyone seemed to know her. I grabbed 2 drinks from the bar and started looking for her. That's when I saw her across the room talking to an older couple. She noticed me, smiled, motioned for me to come over. I walked up beside her. She placed a hand lightly on my arm. "This is Mark." She paused. Barely a second, but long enough for me to notice. "My friend." The couple smiled politely. "So nice to meet you." I smiled back automatically. But my brain hadn't caught up yet. "Friend?" For the rest of the conversation, I barely heard a word. I kept waiting for her to correct herself. She never did. When the couple walked away, I laughed. "You know we're married, right?" She looked confused. "What? You introduced me as your friend." She blinked. "Oh, I did? Yeah." She shook her head. "I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking." Then, someone called her name from across the room. She squeezed my hand. "I'll be right back." And just like that, the conversation ended. On the drive home, I brought it up again. "You really don't remember saying it?" She frowned. "I honestly don't." "You think I'm making it up?" "No. She sighed. I was nervous. Nervous? There were donors there. My boss. The board. I wasn't paying attention. It wasn't a great explanation, but it wasn't impossible either. People misspeak. I let it go. Or at least, I tried to. 3 weeks later, it happened again. This time we were at Noah's football practice. One of the other parents walked over. "I don't think we've met." Emily smiled. "No, you haven't." She pointed at me. "This is Mark." Another tiny pause. "He's a friend." I looked at her. She kept smiling like nothing was wrong. The other parent held out his hand. "Nice to meet you." I shook it, but I wasn't looking at him. I was looking at Emily. She wouldn't meet my eyes. That night, I didn't joke about it. "What is going on?" She looked up from the dishwasher. "What do you mean?" "You did it again." "Did what?" "You introduced me as your friend." She stared at me. "No, I didn't." "You did." I would have remembered. "You didn't remember the first time either." Silence. Then she quietly said, "I think you're reading too much into this." That answer bothered me more than the introductions themselves. Because Emily wasn't someone who dismissed things. If she'd accidentally hurt my feelings, she'd normally apologize before I even mentioned it. This time, she acted like it had never happened. A week later, I finally got an answer. Just not from her. I was picking Noah up from school when another parent walked over. "You must be Emily's friend." I frowned. "I'm sorry?" He smiled. "Emily mentioned you." I felt my stomach tighten. "What exactly did she say?" He shrugged. "Just that you were a close friend who helps with the kids." I didn't hear the rest, because one thought kept repeating in my head. She wasn't slipping up. She'd been introducing me that way, even when I wasn't there. I didn't tell Emily what the other parent had said. Not that day. I wanted to. The words were sitting right there. "Why are you telling people I'm your friend?" Instead, I waited. I wanted to hear her say it again. Maybe there was an explanation I hadn't thought of. Maybe I was making something out of nothing. The chance came sooner than I expected. The following Friday, Emily asked if I wanted to grab dinner downtown. "No kids?" My mom offered to watch them. "What's the occasion?" She smiled. Do we need one? We hadn't been out alone in months. I said yes. The restaurant was busy. Halfway through dinner, a man in a navy suit walked over to our table. He looked to be around 50. Confident. Expensive watch. The kind of person who'd spent his life introducing himself to strangers. Emily? She looked up. Her face lit up. David! She stood up. They hugged. Not awkwardly. Like people who genuinely hadn't seen each other in years. He looked at me. And who's this? Emily opened her mouth. For 1 second, I thought she'd say, my husband. Instead, she smiled. This is Mark. Another pause. He's a friend. There it was. Again. Clear as day. David smiled. It's nice to meet you. I shook his hand. You too. Emily excused herself to use the restroom. The second she disappeared, David leaned closer. She's talked about you. I forced a smile. Has she? Yeah. Says you've always been there when she needed someone. Friend. Not husband. Someone. On the drive home. Neither of us spoke much. She hummed quietly with the radio. I turned it off. Why? She looked at me. Why? What? You know exactly what. She stayed silent. You introduced me as your friend. Again. This time. She didn't deny it. She just kept looking through the windshield. I know. That surprised me. So, why? I can't tell you. I actually laughed. You can't tell me why you tell people I'm your friend? It's complicated. No. It really isn't. You're my wife. I'm your husband. What part of that is complicated? She gripped the steering wheel tighter. Please. Just trust me. I do trust you. That's why I'm asking. When we got home, she went straight upstairs. I stayed in the kitchen for almost an hour, trying to convince myself there had to be a reasonable explanation. But every explanation sounded worse than the last. Was she embarrassed by me? Ashamed? Hiding me? Pretending she wasn't married? None of it fit the woman I'd spent 11 years with. The answer came on Sunday. Completely by accident. Emily was in the backyard with the kids. Her phone was charging on the kitchen counter. It started ringing. The screen lit up. David. I stared at it. It rang until voicemail. A few seconds later, a message appeared. Did you tell him yet? Nothing else. Just that. My stomach tightened. Tell me what? That evening, after the kids were asleep, I couldn't pretend anymore. I put my phone on the table. I saw David's message. Emily didn't even ask why I'd looked. She simply closed her eyes. I figured this day would come. What haven't you told me? She sat down across from me. For the first time since we'd met, she looked genuinely afraid. Not guilty. Afraid. She took a deep breath, then quietly asked, if I explain everything, will you let me finish before you decide how you feel? I didn't answer, because I wasn't sure I could. She reached into her handbag, pulled out a folded envelope, and slid it across the table. My name was written on the front, in her handwriting. It had been sealed for almost 2 years. I didn't touch the envelope. I just looked at it. My name was written across the front, not in a hurry, not scribbled. Emily's handwriting had always been neat. The corner was worn, like it'd been carried around for a long time. When did you write this? She looked at it. Almost 2 years ago. 2 years? She nodded. I never had the courage to give it to you. I turned it over. The flap had never been opened. So, what is it? She didn't answer. She simply nodded toward it. Read it. I broke the seal. The paper was folded 3 times. At the top, 1 sentence. If you're reading this, I waited too long to tell you myself. I kept reading. Mark, if you're reading this because someone else forced the conversation, I'm sorry. I wanted you to hear it from me, not from a stranger, not from work, not by accident. I looked up. What is this? Emily wiped a tear from her cheek. Keep reading. 2 years ago, I was offered the position of Director of Community Outreach. It was everything I'd worked toward for almost 15 years. The problem was, the board thought donors would respond better if I looked completely committed to the job. No distractions. No family image. No children. I frowned. What? Emily nodded. I know. It sounds ridiculous. It was. I kept reading. One board member actually said, "People donate to people who belong to the community, not to their homes." They never told me to hide my marriage. They never asked me to lie. But they strongly suggested that talking about my family made me seem less available. My stomach tightened. I told them no, Emily said quietly. I really did. They kept pushing. Not directly. Just little comments. You must be so busy with your husband. It must be hard balancing children. Maybe don't bring your personal life into donor events. She looked down. I started introducing you as my friend. Just once. I thought it'd be easier. I folded the letter shut. You could have told me. I know. You should have. I know. So why didn't you? She laughed softly. Because after the first lie, every conversation became harder. I kept thinking, I'll tell him after this event. Then another event came. Then another. Eventually, I'd lied so many times. I didn't know how to explain why. Everything finally made sense. The hospital fundraiser, the restaurant, the parents at football. People weren't correcting her because they believed her. I never introduced you as my friend because I was ashamed of you. She leaned forward. I introduced you as my friend because I was ashamed of myself. I sat there, trying to decide whether I was angry or just disappointed. Finally, I asked, "Did you ever tell anyone the truth?" She smiled. One person. Who? My boss. What did he say? He asked why I kept pretending. And I resigned. What? I handed in my notice yesterday. I stared at her. Yesterday? She nodded. I was offered another position. Smaller organization. Less money. No galas. No pretending. They actually asked about you. She smiled through tears. They wanted to know if you'd come to the Christmas dinner. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was over. 2 years of carrying something that never needed to exist. One stupid decision. Then another. Then another. Until it became impossible to undo. A month later, Emily invited me to meet her new team. When the introduction started, she reached for my hand. This is Mark. She smiled. My husband. No pause. No hesitation. No awkward laugh. Just, my husband. One woman smiled. It's so nice to finally meet you. Emily looked at me, then squeezed my hand. So much better than saying friend, isn't it? I laughed. It really is. On the drive home, I realized something. Most marriages don't fall apart because of one huge lie. They crack because of small ones. The kind people tell themselves they'll fix tomorrow. Sometimes, tomorrow takes 2 years.